So, you're getting ready to watch a Disney movie, and, well, you turn on your Xbox or whatever you use, and you turn on Disney Plus. And, well, obviously, you have lots and lots of options. Lots of options. So, you scroll through and you debate, whether do you want this title or that title, or, like, it's a little difficult. Like, then you just get frustrated and, well, Friday night's not going well. Okay, maybe I can't help you with the movie suggestion for Friday night, but what I can help you with is, well, give you my top 10 Disney animated movies. Now, this top 10, of course, as all top 10s, is in order from, I don't know, least favorite of the favorites to the most favorite of the favorites. That makes sense? Alright, kicking off our honorable mentions list, we've got Beauty and the Beast at this spot. Well, I mean, it's a good movie. I enjoy it. It's all fun and dandy. I mean, if you haven't seen Beauty and the Beast, it's shameful. You're missing out on a pretty good movie, I do have to say. Next on our list is Tangled. Okay, I gotta say, this movie is really, really good. I've enjoyed it a lot more since I've watched it recently than I have really in the past. It's a fun all-around movie, and I say Maximus is purely dope. So I can say where it's kids, deal with it. Next on the list is Moana, another great movie. I love Maui. Maui's one of my favorite characters because of this movie. And hey, it's just a whole fun time to deal with. The movie's good, the songs are good, the ending's a little okay. That's why I didn't crack the top 10 list. But let's move on to our last honorable mention. And that is Zootopia. This movie is good. It did crack my top 10 list of 2010s, but it didn't crack my all-time top 10 list. It's a good movie, it's full of heart, and also it's a bunny cop movie. You get it? Instead of buddy cop, I put bunny cop. Because there's an actual bunny cop. Alright, kicking off our list at number 10 is Lilo and Stitch. This movie, I feel, is very underrated. It's fun, it's full of heart, it has great memorable characters, and it's just a blast of a film. I mean, it is so good, and it has probably one of the best messages in a Disney movie. Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. See? You didn't forget about that message now, did you? See? They played it smart. They didn't want you to forget. Okay, let's move on. Moving on from number 10 to a peg lower. Number 9 is Peter Pan. Okay, I mean, who doesn't love the idea of never growing up? Most people. Except for those who want to, become adults, and then they realize that, it's terrible and gruesome, and that there's taxes and, having to pay bills and pay for things like Disney trips, and you get where I'm going with this. But regardless of that, this story is just so well done. It was one of the older Disney films, but it still holds up to this day. It was beautifully animated. The story and the characters are just great. And Captain Hook is one of the best Disney villains. You cannot change my mind. Moving on to number 8 is Robin Hood. Okay, while there wasn't a lot of stories with guys, well, when I was that much of a kid, who the heck says that? But there wasn't that many, guy stories in Disney because, there was all princesses like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, and now there's Frozen, which many of you don't like. I don't understand why you hate it, but okay. Here's the thing, though. This movie and Peter Pan were those guy stories before the Disney Renaissance era. So, by the way, if you're wondering what that is, don't worry, I'll be covering it in a future video. I promise. But Robin Hood and Peter Pan were those guy movies until, the Renaissance came along and we got, the likes of Tarzan and Aladdin and Simba. So, also Quasimodo and a bunch of other characters. Okay? But regardless, it's still a fun film. Obviously it's one of my favorites, and it's full of fun. It's always a movie I could watch over and over again and never get bored with. Just saying. And Prince John is a very, very underrated Disney villain. Very underrated. Going to lucky number 7 is Big Hero 6. Now, it'd probably sound better if it was at number 6, but there's something else at number 6. This movie is the only Disney, modern era, the revival era, as it's so called, to crack the top 10 list. And here's why. 1, Baymax is adorable, okay? We will argue that forever. But 2, it's also a superhero movie. And it's a different type of superhero movie. It's a superhero movie where we actually get to see and deal with some of the different, we get a different version of it. A more Disney-fied version of a superhero story. I mean, we've seen a lot with, of the Avengers and, Captain Marvel and all those other characters, but for once we actually get to see something Disney did by themselves, and also it is a Marvel property, which means it got a cameo from Stan Lee, which it did, and it was great.
Dad?
I wear 'em front. I wear 'em back. I
go inside out.
Then I go
front and back. Dad!
We have a lot to talk about.
Also, the humor in this film, fantastic. I love this story. It's fun, it's full of humor, and it's why it's in my top 10. That's why it's at number 7. Moving on to number 6 is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. This is a very underrated movie, and it's one of my favorites. One of the songs in it, great. The story, it's pretty good. The characters, memorable to say the least. And also, I gotta say, this movie is so beautifully animated. It's one of those, it's in the Disney Renaissance era, and it's beautiful. I mean, you take a look at the backdrops and, the Notre Dame herself, and, you just take a look at the village and the Court of Miracles. It's so well done. Seriously, it is a well done movie. And yes, while there was a musical recently that I was a part of, and you can say, well, 10, that's probably why it's in your top 10. I went back and watched it, and I do have to say it is one of my favorites. So, to those people who said that out there, you have been disproven. Ha! Ha! Alright, now we're down to the top 5. And this list hasn't changed for many, many years. Kicking up our top 5 list is Tarzan. Phil Collins, all you need to know. Okay, we're done. Okay, I'm just kidding. The story, it's great. It's also one of the, guy Disney films that I was referencing, that were added in the Disney Renaissance era. It's just, again, beautifully animated. The characters are great. The story is great. And it has some great, humor moments. Turk and Tantor, their banter throughout the film is just, it's so great. And it has a whole heartwarming story intertwined with it. So, it had to be that way. But that's what makes this story great. So, definitely something I have loved ever since I was born. It's been one of my favorites. I'm not kidding. I used to watch it a lot when I was yee-high. So also, who says yee-high anymore? Nah, whatever. Moving on to number 4 is The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Now, if you didn't know, this used to actually be kind of like how Star Wars The Clone Wars is. It was a TV series, but they added like different shorts of it, and then they compiled it together to form The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I love this film. It's so genuine and fun and heartwarming that it's so great. And of course, it's narrated by the voice of Bagheera. It also has some very classic Disney animators working on this, some of the 9 Old Men, as well as, of course, some great Disney voices that were a part of this film. I mean, that's where we got the voice of Pooh for. So, and no, it was not Jim Cummings. It was Sterling Holloway. He was the original Pooh. I do have to say, it's great. Like, seriously, it's a good film. That's why it's a number 4. Number 3 is The Jungle Book. Yeah. Seriously though, this story, I can't say this enough about all these films. The story's good. It's also another film that was done by the 9 Old Men. It's so well done. The voices are great. It's just wonderful. Also, it is the last film that Walt Disney helped work on. The last animated film that Walt Disney helped work on before his death. So there is that significance to it. But it's just a heartwarming story. And I gotta say, the songs are great. Because that's what friends are for. I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna sing. That's what friends. I can't go that low, I'm sorry. Number 2. So close to the end. So close. The Lion King. Is anyone really surprised by this? Here's the thing. Story, good. Animation, good. Fact that it was made by the B team, the quote-unquote B team at Disney. Like, seriously. A lot of people doubted this film. And that is somewhat what I've learned. But ever since I was a kid, I've loved this movie. I love the coming of age story. I love the idea that he, like, just turns away from his past, but then comes back to, like, save the day. It's you done? Seriously though, it's so well done, and the cast for this is just phenomenal. Jeremy Irons, James Earl Jones, that's all I'm gonna say. Like, seriously, it's so well done, and it's been one of my favorites for years. It also has the best villain song and the best villain. Yes, I said Scar is the best villain. You can't tell me otherwise. I mean, he's the only Disney villain to rule for a bit. Well, outside of Frollo, but that's another conversation for another day. Anyway, let's move on to number 1. And the final film, my favorite film ever in Walt Disney Animation, is Aladdin. And I'll give you 2 words to sum up the reason why I love this film so much. Robin Williams. Mic drop. Alright. Everybody, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next... Okay, that's a joke. But seriously, this film is just... Again, it's a rags to riches story. It's the cream of the crop rags to riches story. Full of magic and wonder and beautiful animation and some of the best songs ever. Friend Like Me is still my favorite Disney song ever. And it's full of emotion. It has another great Disney villain. It has a great henchman, probably the best Disney henchman in Iago. But regardless, it is my favorite Disney animated film. And one of my favorite Disney films ever. Like, this is including the whole rest of it. But when it comes down to animated films, this is my number 1. Lion King and Jungle Book are close, but Aladdin's on a whole tier of its own. Wow, we got through that. And no one cried. Yes. Alright, anyway, thank you guys, seriously, so much for watching. I know this probably didn't help your Friday night movie choice, like, at all. I mean, you got, what, 14 to choose from? Like, look at this thing. Like, look. 14 films to choose from. And of course there's a whole bunch more, so, well, sorry about it. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I had a lot of fun making it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe down below. Hit the bells to be notified for videos. And subscribe for more Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, so much more. Make sure to like and also let me know your top 10 Disney films. And if you don't have a top 10, I'd be fine with the top 5. Works just as well for me. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next video. And also, quick side note on that. If you give me your top 10, I might do a video on your guys' top 10s. So, seriously, let me know in the comments down below, or let me know on Instagram at DizTVChannel. If you're not on Instagram, well, sorry about it. But make sure you go follow my Instagram. I'd greatly appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a magical day. And sorry I didn't help your movie choice, but bye!
That's what friends are for. Okay, bye.